Hello there.
For over 1,000 generations, the Jedi Knights were the guardians of peace and justice in the Old Republic.
I don't mind saying.
The That's Just Crait Show. Starring Hannah. Jacob. Logan.
Most impressive.
I'm a Jedi.
And Hunter. Rest assured, there will be no aggressive negotiations here.
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of That's Just Crait, the podcast where we talk about everything we think is great about a galaxy far, far away. And this is going to be the second episode of Craitmas, our Christmas little thing that we're doing. So today is the Hannah and Jacob show again.
I got a little bit too festive there, Hannah. My bad.
I know, I was going to put on my Santa Captain Rex earrings again, and I forgot. SMH.
I need to get like a new Star Wars Christmas sweater. I have a Boba Fett one that I've had for like forever, but I feel like I need to like make it a little bit more festive this year.
Boba
you know,
Fett's good. Can't go wrong with that.
That's true.
I feel like last time I did red for the background. Maybe I should make it green.
Okay, that would be festive. It would match the vibes. I think
That's not
that we're
green.
trying to give. No, that is an entirely different color, actually. Yeah.
Wait, I feel like we're getting somewhere.
Really cool fun fact about Star Wars fans: we're all colorblind. Actually,
Is that green?
I think so.
It's
Yeah.
like blue green. There we go. That's green. Okay.
Nice.
Now we're ready for Christmas.
Cool.
Or Wicked. Whatever you want.
It does fit with the vibes. It's got the Wicked vibes too,
It
I think.
does. It
I
does
can see
indeed.
it.
I actually, speaking of Wicked, shout out to Kaylee. She has been wanting to show me Wicked for the longest time, and I finally saw it for the first time Friday. So now I have to see part 2, but it was pretty good. I kind of get the
See,
hype.
I might get some hate for this actually. I'm scared to say my opinion on the movie. So I saw Wicked last year. My wife was really excited for it, and we went with like a group, and I thought it was okay. I thought it was perfectly fine. Leaning more negative, but it's like, it's fine. Like whatever, it's just like, there were a few things that just irked me out so much on like a technical level.
Okay.
Cause like, you can tell it's supposed to be like this super colorful movie.
Yeah.
And it's like very practical and stuff, but everything is like washed out for some reason. And it was like driving me crazy. And I know that like on Broadway, like you interrupt songs with like dialogue, like here and there. That's like a musical thing. That's not just like a Broadway thing. It drove me crazy in the first movie.
That was one of the
bad.
things that like I kept commenting about, is anytime that there would be talking and then it's slow, because it wasn't just, oh, now we're singing. It like would slowly turn into a song. I'd be like, we're singing again. And Kaylee and then my other friend James, who was in town, was also watching it with us, and he was like, Hannah, it's a musical. That's what's gonna happen. And I was like, I'm just stating a fact.
I get it. It's like, I guess I just never really noticed it with a lot of other musicals. I feel like it was like really prevalent with that first Wicked movie. And listen, I know that like I'm not in the majority there. So many people love it. I'm glad that you really liked it. That being said, before all of the Ariana Grande fans jump me,
Yeah, don't come for Jacob.
I don't want to upset them. Them and Swifties kind of scare me a little bit.
Tell me about it.
But I saw Wicked 2, Wicked for Good, about 2 weeks ago. And I've got to say, I went in fully expecting to be like, it's just not for me. Really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Actually, really, really enjoyed it. And I like the first one a little bit more because of it. So
Good to know.
Wicked for Good gets a thumbs up from me. Even though apparently people are liking that one less, but
I have seen that.
maybe
I
it's
know,
just another
like,
hot take. I don't know.
I've never really been the biggest musical person. Which is funny
Mhm.
considering that I'm such a big Disney fan. Because if you think about it, like all of our childhood Disney movies technically are musicals, but I feel like there's just something
Mhm.
different about like a stage musical. But I did enjoy it for not being a musical person. And I don't know anything about the story. So, from the tidbits of like information that Kaylee gave me without spoiling anything, I feel like I'm going to like for good. So,
Yeah,
I will keep y'all updated.
it's pretty good. I liked it. So if you haven't seen it, it gets the at J Tim Suggs seal of approval.
Let's go.
But outside of Wicked,
Hmm.
we are quickly approaching the 10th anniversary of The Force Awakens.
I know.
And I'm so upset that we are seemingly not getting
Oh,
a re-release for the 10-year
it's not
anniversary. I'm
happening
so
at
bummed out
all.
about it.
I'm so upset.
No.
I
At the
think what.
time of us recording, it's like 9 days away.
Oh, really? I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
I think what made me more upset about it, and I quote tweeted this, but I think there's a tweet that reported that Endgame will be back in theaters before Doomsday, and that would have been
Mhm.
7 years after it premiered. And I was like, so we're gonna get a Doomsday re-release 7 years later, and we don't get The Force Awakens on its 10th year anniversary. I get it
I don't
though.
get
I
it.
think they did Revenge of the Sith this year, and that was kind of a bigger number anniversary. They probably didn't want to double up, but I feel like it would have been cool. But maybe
But it's like,
another one.
why would you make all of that like 10-year anniversary, like the little banners with BB-8,
Yeah, they did.
and you do the same thing for Revenge of the Sith, and then you just don't re-release the movie? I do think my theory is this. I really think it's because of Avatar. Because
Oh,
Avatar is coming out and that movie is going to be
you
huge,
know, I
and
didn't even
you don't want to
consider
get in the
that.
way of like $1 billion movie, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense actually.
I think January, it could see a re-release in January, and I think that that's
That's
maybe a
still
little
too
bit more
late.
probable,
Too late
but
for
I
me.
agree. It's way too late. So,
Well, maybe
oh
on the
well,
15th anniversary we'll get it.
that is true. I will say this, and we didn't talk about this before we started recording, but now that I'm thinking about it, it kind of does go in line with like re-releases,
Mm-hmm.
not just Star Wars and Force Awakens, but like other stuff too. And it is something that I kind of want to discuss really quick. So I was so heartbroken the other day, as were many other people on Twitter, over the Netflix buying Warner Brothers
Oh,
news.
yeah.
Um, as a fan of, I'm going to sound so pretentious when I say this, but I mean it. As a fan of cinema and someone that's been going to the theaters
Well,
ever
yeah.
since I was a kid, hearing the CEO of Netflix be like, "Oh yeah, we're going to have shorter release windows for theatrical projects, and then
That
it'll
makes
be
me
on
so
like
upset.
Netflix, like not long after, because it's like consumer friendly." It's so infuriating for
Mm-hmm.
so many reasons. And it's something that I wanted to address on the pod because of this. You know, we're probably not getting a re-release for The Force Awakens, and like there's a few factors as to why, you know, just kind of discussed. But I am happy to know, in the midst of this awful news, we don't know if it's going to come into fruition or not. I
Mm-hmm.
hope it doesn't. But in the midst of just this terrible news, we were told that the Lord of the Rings extended editions are coming back to
That's
theaters.
true.
Avengers Endgame is coming back to theaters, and we're getting a lot more theatrical re-releases of like really big movies. I feel like,
Yeah.
and we saw how Revenge of the Sith did this past summer. It did
Right.
like great
Did
at the
amazing.
box office for like a 20-year old movie,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
God, it makes me feel old. But um, I think it's very important, more than ever, to support films in theaters.
100%.
And I think that, you know, these big mainstream blockbusters, regardless about how I think some are going to be and how I feel about some specific franchises and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that, I feel like it's very important for us to go out and support any movie. And I think that these big re-releases of giant blockbusters seeing people going into those theaters to see those movies again. I feel like that's so important and it's going to say so much. So moving forward, I really hope that these re-releases happen more often. And I also hope that movies in general, people continue to go to the theater to support the films that they want to see.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to the podcast and there's movies that you want to see, but you're like, oh, I'll wait until maybe it comes on streaming. If you want to see it, absolutely go to a theater because nothing beats that experience.
Yes.
I cannot imagine, like, Force Awakens is great at home, but I will never forget how it was on opening night
Well, that's
10
how
years
I
ago.
felt when Superman came out. Like I loved it so much that I had to go back by myself a few days later to see it in IMAX. And I feel like when I really like a movie like that, I want to see it as many times as I can in the theater because I know it's not going to feel like that when I watch it at home. Like the movie is
Yeah.
still going to be amazing and I'm still going to love it as much, but like the feeling inside that you get watching it in a theater on a big screen, especially if it's in IMAX. Oh my gosh. Like you
IMAX, but I
can't
love it.
replicate that at home, which is why I love that they've been doing the re-releases a lot more, like with a lot more movies, because I think it gives you a chance to experience that again. And it's just like it has always driven me crazy how quickly certain movies go to streaming. Like I was kind of upset when Superman went so quickly to digital because I was like, hello, I want to go to the theater one more time and see it. And they put it on digital. But what happened to waiting like 6 months after the movie came out to buy it on DVD first? Like that was the time.
True. I just like it's so infuriating whenever it's like you have a film that could potentially do even better and then you put it on streaming and it kind of interferes with like profits, I feel like, for the
It
movie in a lot of
does.
ways.
It absolutely does.
I kind of yearn for the days that like you would have to wait months after the movie was in theaters to
Right.
like it again. Like I remember like I think it was like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 or like a Star Wars movie
Yeah.
or something. Like even with like the sequel trilogy and stuff, like I would have to wait until those movies came on like DVD or
Right.
Blu-ray to really like experience those films again. So I want to take a step off of my soapbox now, but I had to get that out on the pod
Yeah.
because
I feel like we
it's
could
so
yap about that
important
for a while.
to support the theatrical experience. I feel like it's something that means so much to me. You know, I saw Revenge of the Sith growing up back in 2005, and I got to see it with my mom again this year in the exact same theater. And that was just, it meant everything to me.
Yes.
And I can't imagine, you know, I have so many great memories like that, even outside of Star Wars. And I think that it's very important to support your local cinema and to go see films in theaters. So
This
that's what I gotta
conversation
say about that.
has reminded me of something. I keep all of my movie tickets and I put them in this little notebook.
I do the same thing. I have
Hold
it
on.
back here on my
It's like hiding
my shelf.
from me.
It's filled to the brim with movie tickets.
Here we go. Oh, I also have pictures in here. Hold on. It's like I want to show this because I know
You're
I
good.
have Star Wars ones in here. Oh, I even have
I gotcha.
extras here. Apparently, I have some little Polaroids in there as well. I need to see. We got Deadpool and Wolverine. I was like, I need to find a Star Wars one from like. Here's Phantom Menace 25th anniversary. Ooh, it's hard to see.
Oh, that's cool.
I know I probably still have my sequels tickets.
I still have mine. I know where they're at. I need to get them. I've got some in the thing back there, but I have a few more that I need to like
Oh, Fantastic Four.
get out of storage.
Ooh.
But see, like again, like these little tickets, as like insignificant
Like-
as they might seem, like
This
you have them forever.
It's the
Like you can
mother
remember
lode.
who you saw it with.
Ooh. Oh my gosh. Here's one. See, remember when you showed your 2005 ticket that was like barely legible?
Yeah.
This one is
I have it
not
right here
as this
on the
one's
shelf
not
next to
as
me.
old, but you can't even see the words on it really. You can like barely see it. This is from oh my gosh. Okay, this brought back a memory that I forgot about. See, this is why I love the tickets. This is from The Rise of Skywalker.
Let's go.
This would have
I love
been
that movie.
the second time that I saw it, and it was with my best friend Javis. I think it was the first time he saw a Star Wars movie in the theater. But see, like I have
That's so
all of
cool.
my. That's so funny. I forgot that we did that. But yeah,
Speaking of Star Wars and like seeing it, that kind of leads us into like what we're going to talk about
it
today.
does.
It's actually kind of a perfect segue, I think. Star Wars movies, with the exception of Mandalorian and Solo, and I think Starfighter as well, is coming out in the summer in 2027.
Yes.
I feel like a lot of recent Star Wars movies have been released around the holidays in December. I know for a fact that the sequel trilogy was, and even Rogue One. And more recently, we've seen projects like Ahsoka, which was in the fall, kind of going into the winter. And last year we had Skeleton Crew, which was exactly around the holiday season.
Yes.
So today we're going to be
Perfect.
kind of talking about Star Wars things that we like to rewatch around the holiday season, and also just favorite memories around the time of the holidays of movies, Star Wars projects that we've watched. So I have so many that I want to talk about, and I'm gonna let you go first, Hannah,
Okay.
because I think that I just have so much like ready to go. You know?
Yeah. I know I like to rewatch a lot of Star Wars around Christmas. I think my Christmas Day movie specifically that I always pick out to watch, whether I force my family to watch it with me upstairs or if I just come down and watch it by myself, it is always Return of the Jedi. It is my favorite
Nice.
movie, so I do watch it. Like, I rewatch it probably more than the others. Actually, it's probably tied for Empire with how much I rewatch them. But Return of the
Oh,
Jedi
yeah.
is always and forever my Christmas Day movie. That being said, Empire Strikes Back is also, of course, one that you have to watch around Christmas time because of Hoth. Like, winter, we're in winter.
It's perfect.
Like,
It
you
matches.
kind of have to. What else do I like to rewatch? Those are my two main ones for sure. Honestly, just all of the original trilogy, but those two up top. Do you have a Christmas
I
Day
got you.
one that you watch, or is that just a me thing?
I don't have one on Christmas Day, but definitely around Christmas. So I should probably say, and I think I've said this on other episodes, since high school, my friend and I have been doing a Star Wars marathon every December.
Okay.
We
Oh,
start
right.
it, and usually it used to be like pretty quick. His name is Philip. Shout out to you, Philip, if
Shout
you're
out,
watching.
Phillip.
This guy's been like my best friend since like middle school. We've known each other a long time. And Philip and I every year get together and watch all of the Star Wars films. And it used to be super easy because we only had 6 movies.
Oh, there's
We
so
never
much.
counted the Clone Wars animated movie.
Yeah.
I know it got like a theatrical release, but we always kind of just skipped over that one. We only don't really do the live action movies. So we used to have 6 movies to watch, and it would be easy just to go through them. And then the next year, The Force Awakens came out, so we watched all of them leading into Episode 7, which I'll never forget seeing that on opening night, but I'll get back to that in a minute because that was just an experience that I'll always associate with, like, you know, the holidays and
Yeah.
stuff like that, because it was right around Christmas time back in like 2015. But we do a marathon every year, and it's only become longer over time with like Rogue One, Last Jedi, Solo, Rise of Skywalker. So it's only gotten like more and more difficult as we become adults,
Yeah.
with like jobs and stuff
Of course.
and lives to sync everything up, sit down and watch them together. But it's something that we do every year, and nothing's ever going to stop it. But for one that I watch, like one that I make a point to watch at least more than once around December, The Force Awakens,
Yeah.
easily without question. That movie is like, and like the hype leading up to it, I
Oh,
always think
yeah.
about like Christmas and everything,
It's
you know?
so, like, even when it came out and it was new, it had like an element of nostalgia feel to it. So I feel like that just
Absolutely.
makes it perfect for the holidays.
I think so too. And I was actually replaying like the 2015 Battlefront game earlier today.
yeah.
I was just feeling super nostalgic, and I was like, I really wanted to play like the Battle of Jakku DLC. I've been on like a huge Battle of Jakku kick lately. I don't know
I
why
have
or like where it
noticed.
came from, but I've been like really thinking about it because I think it's like such a significant event that
gotta-
not a lot of people know about, and
I
it's
gotta
like,
cut you off and even tell our viewers. He changed our group chat background to an art piece of the Battle of Jakku. That's how deep he is in this right now.
listen, it is. If you know the Battle of Jakku and like all like the intricate things kind of that led into it and like the politics and stuff, you know ball. Like it's so good. And like it's something that I wish was like more present in The Force Awakens.
Yeah, me
I love
too.
how that movie begins, but man, I think it would be so cool if that movie started with like a flashback to like the Battle of Jakku.
That would be cool.
And then like went into like stuff. I think it would have been perfect. But that is a whole other yap session for another time. If I start talking about that, Hannah, I'm not gonna be able to stop.
That would be a whole podcast episode in
but-
itself.
Gallius Rax and Raceland. I could talk about them for like hours. But The Force Awakens, no. I wanted to replay the Battle of Jakku DLC. So I was replaying like the 2015 Battlefront game, and I was just thinking about like around the time when that movie came out, it was like Christmas, and I was on winter break. I was in high school. I was a senior, and I remember I'd pre-ordered Battlefront 2015. Star Wars hype was like an all-time high.
It was.
And like I just remembered coming home from like school on like that Friday or that Thursday and just playing that game like nonstop and then going to see the movie that night with my friends. It was really funny because I remember that I had like psychology as a class in high school.
Okay.
And I remember that The Force Awakens came out on I think it was either the 15th or the 18th of December. I can't remember. It was one of those days, but it was like a Thursday. We were going to go to like the Thursday night showing, obviously, because my friend and I had like pre-ordered our tickets months in advance to make sure we could get it. And I remember that my final was on the day that the movie came out.
Of course.
And my friend and I had plans to talk about Star Wars all day and to rewatch like the original trilogy and stuff. And I was like, well, man, this like, damn it, this like gets in the way of my plans. And so I asked my teacher if I could take the exam early, and she was like, yeah. And so I finished the
W
exam,
teacher.
I turned it in, and it's just me and her, right? And my teacher looks at me and she's like, oh, so like, why'd you take the exam early? Like, are you going out of town to like go see family? And I was like, no, I'm staying in town. And she was like, oh, well, like, do you have family coming over? And I was like, no, not really. And like, she just kind of looked at me and she was like, if you don't mind, like, why could you not be here for the exam? And I just like, everything was done by that point. I was like, there's no like, like whatever. And I just looked at her and I was like, The Force Awakens comes out, Star Wars Episode 7 comes out that day, and my friend and I are going to spend the entire day just like watching the original the original movies. And like there was like a pause, like it was like an awkward silence for like at least like a minute. And then she was like, that's awesome. That's really cool. Have fun.
That is such a valid reason to do that. I would have done the same if I could have.
It was awesome. And I remember like being so scared about reviews. Not that I care about that stuff now, but like at the time, because it was like the first Star Wars movie in like 10 years, I was like, oh my God, like what if it gets like panned by critics? Like what if people hate it? And I remember I was at like an event that night and I looked at my phone and it like debuted on like Rotten Tomatoes with like a 97% or 98%. And I was like, okay, this movie is going to bang. Like this movie is going to be a good one. But that is a very long-winded way for me to say that The Force Awakens is a movie that I always watch around Christmas time.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a special movie for me. It's not my favorite Star Wars movie, but it's definitely up there. And I think that the experience and the hype around it definitely kind of like elevates it, if you will.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I remember when that came out, and I mean, my whole family was excited, obviously, because, you know, like I've said a million times on this podcast, my dad raised us on Star Wars. So this was kind of our first, that was our first chance to go see a Star Wars in the theater together. So my parents had like pre-ordered tickets for all of us. I think we also went to a midnight showing Thursday night, the day before it came out, and all saw it together. And that was a fun experience. So yeah, I would agree. That's definitely up there on a Christmas Star Wars movie that you gotta watch. I will
Oh, yeah.
probably. I've been meaning to rewatch that one, especially with the anniversary coming up. So I will definitely be watching that one soon again too.
I think that's why I've been on my Battle of Jakku kick.
Yeah.
Because of like the 10-year anniversary
Makes
and just
sense.
everything. It's got me thinking about it. I want a whole podcast dedicated to me
gonna
talking
say,
about the Battle
we
of
just-
Jakku.
Me and Hunter have to re-download it, and then we can all play.
Well, I literally texted the group chat because like unfortunately, okay,
earlier today.
Battlefront 2 2017 is an excellent game, one of the biggest redemption stories in video game history, if you're asking me. I feel like that's not even a stretch if you look at like where they started
Yeah.
and where they ended up. Like IGN re-review the, not that I'm saying like all these like Rotten Tomatoes, IGN, these things don't matter. But I do think it says something when they re-reviewed the game in 2019 before Rise of Skywalker came out, and they gave like the game a way higher rating, called it one of the best Star Wars
Okay.
games ever made. And they were
I
like,
mean,
we went from like loot boxes and gatekeeping under like price gouges to
Yeah.
like paywalls. That's the word I meant. To like this, to an experience that everybody enjoys. Battlefront 2 gets lots of love. There's a big resurgence for it over the summer. That was awesome because people were just like in the lobbies for the first time.
that's so crazy.
Battlefront 1, Battlefront 2015, no love. Nobody talks about it. Nobody plays it. I tried to play it online earlier. I could only do single player stuff because nobody plays it anymore.
That is crazy.
So it's so sad because I think everybody kind of moved to Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
And I get
mean,
it because like that one
always
has the
liked
prequels
Battlefront
and
2
sequels. Yeah,
So,
I did too. It's just like nobody plays Battlefront 1, and that game is still so good. It looks incredible for being over 10 years old now, which is, again, wild to
is
say.
crazy.
But it still looks great. DICE put so much love and care into that game, and it's so much fun. And so if you're listening now and you have the game, hop back on. If you
Yeah.
don't have the game, it's either going to be free with Game Pass or whatever, or it's going to be like $2. So what are you waiting for? This is not an ad for EA, but you should buy the game so that we can flood the lobbies and get people playing it again.
Yes.
Which is why I texted the group chat earlier and I was like, guys, download the game so that we can play the Battle of Jakku together.
100%. Hundo P.
I'm like a Force Awakens kind of mood tonight. Like, I'm really like jacked up about it for some reason.
Love it.
Like, once we're done recording, I'm just gonna hop back on and play that DLC again.
I've been on a Marvel Rivals kick lately. Gosh, I can't speak. Gosh, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I like to watch. Those are kind of my main. Those are definitely my main three: Return of the Jedi, Empire, Force Awakens.
So, you're gonna say 3. So, I'm going to say if I had to pick 3, I'm gonna say The Force Awakens is like number 1 easy. I think Empire is also up there for me because, again, like you said, it's like Hoth.
Yeah.
It checks out. Like the movie feels cold for like the
Does
entire
feel cold.
movie.
That's such a good way to put it.
I don't know if that makes sense,
It
but
makes
like, you
so
know,
much sense.
I saw it in concert with
so
my
jealous.
wife
Ugh.
earlier this summer. It was an incredible experience, and it felt cold. Like we were in a room filled with people, and somehow it still felt cold because of like the vibes of the film. My third one, and like this is gonna be no surprise, I feel like to you,
Yeah.
because I feel like anyone listening is gonna be like, oh, he's gonna say like The Last Jedi, and like, look, I do have some amazing memories seeing that movie in a theater around Christmas time, because you know my friend and I saw it. Carson, shout out to you if you're listening. We saw it on New Year's Eve,
Okay.
and the point in the movie, I still have the video saved on my phone because we were the only ones in the theater.
Oh my gosh.
But The part where Kylo Ren goes, "No, you're still holding on. Let go."
Holding on.
Immediately switched to 12 o'clock, and it went from like 2017 to 2018
Oh my
in that exact
gosh.
moment.
That's so
I have
funny.
it on my phone, and you could hear both of us laughing. We were the only two in the theater, so we weren't like degenerates for like illegally recording in a theater.
That is
But
so-
it was like one of those things that we were like, we have to capture this.
I love that Kylo moment. It's so funny.
It's really good. There's a lot of good bits in The Last Jedi that I think a
are.
lot of people just don't talk about as much.
Mm-hmm.
But as much as I do associate like The Last Jedi with like Christmas and the holidays, I will never forget watching The Rise of Skywalker for the first time, like around Christmas
Yeah.
time. I know for some
Honestly-
people it was a terrible experience.
Honestly, same. Like, because I remember the first time I saw it, I didn't dislike it as much as I do currently. But that was another one because my family upheld the tradition after seeing The Force Awakens that we had to go see the rest of them together around Christmas time, since they all came out around Christmas time. So we all went Thursday night premiere. So good memories for the first time seeing it.
Nice. I saw it, so I had some build up to it actually. So a couple of things happened. So my friend and I were seniors in college, and it was kind of like, what's that George Lucas quote? It's like poetry, it rhymes.
Yeah.
It was like that for me because The Force Awakens came out when I was a senior in high school, and then The Rise of Skywalker came out when I was a senior in college. So I was worried about what was going to happen next. I didn't know what was going to happen next after college.
Yeah.
Certainly didn't expect a global pandemic of all things.
Tell me
But
about it.
in December 2019, my friend and I, we'd saved up all year, and we went to Disney World for like an entire week.
Oh, right. I remember
And we had
this.
another friend that lived down there who met up with us. Jacob, shout out to you if you're listening. His name is also Jacob. I'm not my own friend. That would be
There's
really
two
sad.
Jacobs. It's Jacob squared.
But it was my friend Philip that I mentioned earlier that I do the marathon. We went together down to Disney World for like a week, and we were hanging out, like whatever, went to all the parks, went to Galaxy's Edge for the first time ever. So experiencing that alone was just like so emotionally overwhelming. And knowing that we were getting a Star Wars movie, like the concluding chapter to the saga in just a few days, it was like unreal. So the whole week, like we're stressed out. We're like, what's going to happen in this movie? And we watched the Mandalorian finale in a hotel room. And we thought it was great. And I remember my friend David got invited to an early screening of Rise of Skywalker. And I was like, I sent him a message because we were in line for Smuggler's Run. And I was
Okay.
like, David, you got to let me know how this movie is. Like, please let me know. And he ended up texting me later that day, and he was like, dude, it's going to be divisive, but like, I really liked it. And I was like, okay, I think I'm in good hands. And I saw the movie extremely tired. My friend and I were exhausted, but I have like photos of me at the premiere at
remember
Disney
these
Springs with my
pictures.
friend. I post the one all the time of me next to like the Sith Trooper costume that they had in that AMC.
Yes.
It was so
Yeah.
cool. Like that experience, I think also, much like for Force Awakens, really just like elevated the movie in a lot of
Oh,
ways,
I'm
I
sure.
think.
Like just being surrounded by Star Wars things all day and then going to see the final Skywalker Saga movie. That's got to be unmatched. I remember, like, you talking about that. I remember you telling me and Hunter about this because this was also around the same time that, like, we first became close friends. So
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I remember you telling us all about this in our old group chat.
That group chat, I actually tried to find it the other day, the old one with like you, me, and Hunter in
Yeah,
it
I don't
from like
think it
2017,
exists.
2018. I couldn't find it,
Yeah.
but it did make me think about the fact that Yumi and Hunter specifically have been friends now for almost 10 years, which I think is
That
crazy.
is crazy. Gosh,
It's just wild to think about.
for real.
Time flies.
It
We're
really
getting old,
does.
Hannah.
Don't remind me.
I've reached the point of getting old to where now whenever I stand up, I go, ugh.
Oh,
And it's not because
Same.
anything hurts. It's
Oh.
just I involuntarily say it.
for me, I do hurt but I also
Oh,
I also ride horses.
you might be in a worse predicament than me then.
Don't. It's just the wear and tear from riding horses. So beware, everybody.
I was about to say. But
I do have something
go
that I
ahead.
can continue off of your previous story, though. Like to add in Christmas Star Wars movies. I know we were talking about Christmas Star Wars experiences, and you being at Disney reminded me of when me and my family went to Disney a year after you went.
Yeah.
And that was our first time going to Galaxy's Edge. And it was kind of a Christmas surprise for, well, it wasn't, I knew about it. So I have a not adopted brother, Clark. He's a part of our family, even if we never legally went through the adoption process. He is my brother, whatever. He had never been to Disney World. So that year, I think it was 2020. That was his big Christmas gift, was that we were all going to go to Disney for
Aw.
his first time. And because of the Star Wars stuff, like my whole family had wanted to go. So I knew about it. I think it was still a surprise for everybody else. But we all did the Savvy's Workshop, build your own lightsaber experience together.
Oh,
That was
that's
really cool. Just like doing that with all of my siblings and picking out our kyber crystals and like designing our lightsabers and seeing how unique each other's lightsabers were and all of that. And I also remember my brother immediately going into Doc Ondar's to buy different color kyber crystals afterwards. He was like, I need them all. But that was like, I will never forget the feeling, because we literally left to go to Disney the day after Christmas. So that it was basically Christmas trip there. But I will never forget the feeling of walking into Galaxy's Edge for the first time and just being like, what? I'm in Star Wars. Like it's
insane.
so cool every time you walk in there, but it has never felt quite the same as it did that first time. And that was on Christmas for me, or not on Christmas, but it was Christmas for me.
Was it insane I'm sure it was, but like, I can't speak for you, but like seeing the Millennium Falcon
Oh
in
my God.
person was like I froze. Like I could
Me
not walk
too.
for like a solid 30 seconds.
I think the way we walked in through like the gate, as you do, past the RIP Muppet Show.
Oh,
And I think we kept right so that you went
Rip
into
Muppets.
like the First Order area. So I actually
Yeah.
remember the first thing that shocked me is, you know, when you're in the First Order area, they have random TIE fighter noises flying over to like immerse you in the world. Because like Logan has said before, they don't play any music in Galaxy's Edge. It's all like like ambiance and noise and stuff like that. So when they did the TIE fighter noise, I remember me and my sister actually looked up to the sky like they were gonna be there. And then we just started laughing at ourselves because we're like, of course the TIE fighter's not gonna be there. But then we like turned the corner and got like front view walking up to the Falcon, and we were all like speechless. And I remember like my dad specifically, I've never seen him so like awestruck before.
I went with my family again in 2021, and it was a really great time. Philip was with us again that trip too. He's just like basically family by this
Shout out
point.
Philip.
I've name dropped him a lot, but shout out Philip. But my wife has never been to Disney World like ever. Ever. She's never been. So
Oh my
my
gosh.
plan is to take her to Disney World probably next year. I think that's going to be like our goal.
Do it.
And even my family has talked about it, like doing like a thing like next Christmas, like November,
be so
December,
nice.
somewhere in that time frame. So the plan is to eventually go with her. I think that she would love it. And Galaxy's Edge, like her just knowing how big of a Star Wars fan I am, and her even liking some Star Wars stuff in the process of just like being with me.
Yeah.
I think it'll mean a lot to her too. But you did say there's no TIE fighters, and there's not. But whenever they did the grand opening, they had like drones in the shape of like an
You're
X-wing.
right.
fly up.
I remember
And
the
I wish
videos of
they would
that.
do that more often.
That
I
would
don't
be
know why they
so
don't.
cool. I mean,
Like,
it
it's
probably
really
costs a
cool.
ton, I'm sure, but
Yeah, but it's also
pay the
Disney.
money.
If they can pop like what, like $4 million worth of fireworks, if not more than that, every single night at Magic Kingdom, you can get the drone X-wing to
Right?
come back. I
Get
know
the
it's in
drone
storage
X-Wing.
somewhere. Like it's not just
It's gotta
it's
be
not dismantled
somewhere.
or anything. And if it is dismantled, you could just do what they do for Star Tours, supposedly, and go into where Body Wars used to be in Epcot and just take parts from that and somehow fix it.
Somehow, you say?
Somehow. I didn't even plan for that one. Like, hand on the bantha, I did not plan on that one at all.
That's funny.
Hand on the sacred text.
Actually, hold on, I got something for this.
Oh, Tales of Kenobi.
Yes. I've always said it looks like it's a Star Wars, but like even the pages are shiny. So here you go.
Those covers are so nice. I see
Hand
them
on
all the
Tales
time.
of Kenobi.
There we go. I'll put my hand on. Do I have a Star Wars book nearby me? Hand on the Poe Dameron action figure
There
from
you
The Force
go.
Awakens. There we go. That's it.
This is a really cool
But,
book, though. I haven't read this yet, but I'm pretty sure this was a Christmas gift. So shout out to whichever family member gave this to me. I forgot. I'm sorry.
I did want to bring this up because we were talking about movies
Yeah.
and stuff. I know we've talked a lot about Galaxy's Edge, and if you've never gone, especially during the holiday season or Life Day season, as they call it, it's a great time to go. But aside from Galaxy's Edge, you mentioned this movie before we started recording because you're doing some reels for Instagram,
I
leading
sure
into
am.
Ahsoka season 2, and you mentioned this movie. And it's one that I said earlier my friend and I skipped, but it did get a theatrical release, and I think it's remembered a little bit more fondly now by those who grew up with it, even if it is not perfect by any means.
Yeah.
You did mention the Clone Wars animated film
I did
from
indeed.
2008. And that movie came out in the summer, but because this episode's about like Star Wars memories and stuff, do you want to talk about why you kind of like that movie and kind of like what it means to you?
Well, it
Because you
obviously
said something that I thought was kind of sweet.
yeah. Well, it obviously means a lot to me because that was the very first time that we ever see or meet Ahsoka as a character. So I actually take back what I said earlier about The Force Awakens being the first Star Wars movie that we would get to see in theaters as a family because it was actually the Clone Wars movie. I remember my dad taking me and my brother to see it when it first came out, and me being 8 years old at the time, or actually, it came out in the summer, so I wouldn't have been 8 yet. No, I would have been 8. Hold on. Yes, I was
I'm doing
8.
the math for myself as we speak.
I always get confused because I turned in age and I had to think about, I was like, I'm 26 right now and it's still 2025. Okay, I was 8.
I was 10.
Okay, so I was 8 and that is the movie, like that. I mean, seeing Ahsoka for the first time, like that is what made me just be like, oh my God, I love Ahsoka. I want to be her. Like, this is my favorite character now. And I think it was just growing up watching the movies, I always loved Anakin as a character. So knowing that he had a Padawan, I thought that was so cool. And I was like, well, this is 8-year-old Hannah Brain. I was like, well, if I was in Star Wars, because I always, when I like a franchise, I always try to put myself in it somehow. Or like I used to write a lot of like self-insert original character fanfic, and I would like fit it into whatever universe that I liked. And I could never quite pinpoint that with Star Wars as a kid until this movie. So I was like, if I was in Star Wars, I would want to be Anakin Skywalker's Padawan. That seems fun. And I also just liked how like funny and like quippy she was with him. And I was like, because I was a very, very shy kid and I feel like Ahsoka is one of the characters that helped. I mean, it was a slow journey for me, but I've made it. But she helped me want to actually like get out of my shell more because she was that way. So yeah, I haven't watched the Clone Wars movie in a hot minute, so I am going to be watching it at some point this week, like I said in my Instagram reel, and keep up because I'm going to post the rest of them. I have them all pre-recorded, but I'm going to post the rest of the Ahsoka stuff that I'm going to watch every Tuesday for Tano Tuesday. But yeah, so I'm excited to watch it again because
Nice.
it's been so long, and I just wonder if any of those feelings from being 8 are going to come back.
That's so sweet. I think it's so cool how it's like, that movie's not talked about a lot. I feel like the series just being
Yeah.
as big as it became kind of just like overshadowed it. And it's easy to forget that movie had a theatrical release. I saw it with my dad and I saw it with one of my best friends, Joey. I'm just name dropping like all of my friends
Shout
tonight,
out
I
all of
guess.
our
I don't know.
friends.
But I saw it with him and I remember we came home and played Battlefront 2 at his place afterwards. But it's like, I think that movie does hold a special place in my heart just a little bit. Because again, outside of Revenge of the Sith, it was like the second Star Wars movie that I was able to see in theaters.
Yeah.
And seeing it in a crowd was still just as fun, I even remember seeing the trailer for it a few months prior in a movie with my dad whenever we went down like to the beach one summer or something. And I just remember thinking like, whoa, that's crazy that we're getting like an animated Star Wars movie in theaters. But I think that like, especially with characters like Ahsoka and stuff, like it's really cool that like you kind of have that and like you kind of saw yourself in a lot of ways with that character. And I think that even though the movie came out in the summer and it's kind of overshadowed by the series, I feel like kind of the memory that you hold with that is what kind of like makes it kind of like connect back to like
100%.
favorite Star Wars memories and like the holidays and stuff. Like I think that it definitely really plays a part there too.
I think that's why, because so my whole, here's what you need to watch before Ahsoka season 2. I actually filmed this in October and I have just been waiting for a moment to post them because I was like, I don't want to post them until I actually start rewatching this. And I kind of decided to wait until December. I don't know why, but I think now with what you've just said, that might be why. Because like Christmas time kind of gets you nostalgic feeling, and especially with like I've just been so hyped for Ahsoka season 2 for majority of this year, and knowing that we just have to wait just a little bit longer until we get it. I still can't believe that we have the show and that the character has come this far, because I quite literally have grown up with Ahsoka. So it's just a wild experience for me. And everybody,
so cool.
I'm sure. But like my personal experience, I can't wrap my head around it. So that's why I'm doing my watch through of Ahsoka stuff.
Cool. And if you want to follow Hannah, her link will be in the description down below.
And if you're not following me
So you
already,
can
what are you
our
doing with
videos.
your life?
People are just watching the podcast. They're watching the podcast. They're like, wait, they have other things that they post on. They just don't do the pod every single week. That's crazy.
So crazy.
I will say this too. Rogue One was briefly mentioned and briefly brought up, but
Perfect.
I saw that movie a lot in theaters in 2016
Okay.
whenever it was released. And I ended up seeing it in IMAX as well with my mom and dad.
I'm so jealous. I never saw it in IMAX.
I saw Force Awakens and Rogue One in IMAX.
I'm
For some reason,
so
did not get to see
jealous.
Last Jedi or any of them. I wish I would. Dude, Last Jedi in IMAX would have been incredible. I don't know why I didn't do that. Even Solo in IMAX, I think would have been great. Though I did see Solo a lot in theaters too. But Rogue One, I remember like taking friends who like. I made this like not great movie whenever I was in college, just with my friends on like a budget of $0. And I remember we had like a big premiere for it. and we showed it in the theater, and like it was like a really cool thing. We had like a Q&A, and we went out to eat afterwards, and we were like, well, what do we do now? And we ended up going to see like a 10 o'clock showing of Rogue One at our local cinema. So I'll always remember just all of us, like we were in
That's
like
so
suits
fun.
and like dresses and stuff, and we just went to go see the movie all dressed up.
That's such a good little
And
memory.
it's so sweet. I always remember it. I will always remember it. That's what I meant to say. I guess I'm just illiterate tonight. This is what happens when I get so
Speaking is
Battle of
hard.
Jakku brain. I feel like that gif of like Charlie Day in front of the whiteboard from Always Sunny, where he's like freaking out. Like that's how I feel talking about like the Battle of Jakku,
Oh my gosh.
and whenever it overpowers my entire thought process.
Real.
So I do want to say really quick, and we're running out of time, so I don't want to like yap too long about this. But I did quickly want to bring up some of the Disney Plus shows, like The Mandalorian season 2. I will always remember being upstairs on my couch during that finale of season 2
Yes.
when Luke Skywalker shows up and takes Grogu. Like I remember it was
good.
like 3 a.m. And I didn't have to work the next day. My parents actually, I was living with them at the time, and they had COVID. And so they were
no.
quarantined downstairs. I was fine, but I had to quarantine upstairs in our house because I didn't want to get it and I didn't want to be
Right.
around them.
Yeah.
So I was quarantined upstairs just watching movies for like an entire week. And Mando season 2 came out that day, or one of the days, like while I was in quarantine. And I remember staying up till 3 a.m. and watching it on my couch, and just, I was so hyped. I will
Me too.
never, ever forget that as long as I live. And the next day on Twitter,
Oh my
day on
gosh.
Star Wars
It
Twitter,
was so good.
legendary day for the fandom.
Because I also stayed up till 3 a.m. to watch it, but I didn't have a
Mm-hmm.
TV in my room at the time because I lived with my grandparents. So they were obviously asleep by 3 a.m. So I didn't want to watch it on the TV downstairs. So I had to watch it on my laptop in my room. But I still watched it and it was epic.
It is something that I think is unforgettable, and one of those things that just makes The Mandalorian, like, it just elevated the series, I felt like, to like such a bigger thing. Some would say for worse, I would say for better a bit. But I do quickly also want to say Skeleton Crew came out last holiday season, kind of right in the middle of everything. I think I brought it up briefly at the start of the podcast, but I
think you
really
did too.
cannot overstate
Yeah.
just like how wholesome of a series it is and how perfect it is to like watch with family. Because like I have family members who aren't even that big into Star Wars, and they would like sit down and watch an episode with me.
Oh, fun.
So Skeleton Crew also has a special place in my heart. I have the Onyx Cinder Lego set.
I'm
Shout out Logan, even though he's not here, because I know he has it too. But I have the Lego set off on the shelf
I
beside
have
me
a
over
couple
here.
Funkos. I take that back. I have one Funko. I have Fern. She was my favorite.
Oh, cool. Oh, I like Neil. Neil, I think,
Yes,
is
I love Neil.
perfectly hyped. I think
Fern
Neil
is my
has
girl, though.
not a big enough fan base.
Fern doesn't have a big enough fan base.
I agree. I think that all of them deserve a little bit better. I would love to see where their story goes if we ever get a season 2.
No, I really would love more of it. But I agree. Skeleton Crew, honestly, it might have the most Christmassy vibes over everything because kind of like
I
The
think
Force
so, too.
Awakens, it just has that hint of nostalgia like buried within it. It was produced with nostalgia and it's just so good. You feel so, it's like, it feels like a warm hug watching it.
It does.
Not to
And I
sound
think,
like Olaf.
too, with like the sequels and with Skeleton Crew, especially, in my opinion, I feel like the nostalgia never feels forced.
No, it
And
doesn't.
it never just feels like, hey, remember
Yeah.
this, remember this. And like, I understand how you could make that argument. I get it. I know. But it doesn't really feel that way for me because those things always have significance in the plot whenever they show
Yeah.
up. Like when Han Solo and Chewbacca show up, they're supporting characters for the remainder
Right.
of the movie. And like when the holiday special gets acknowledged in Skeleton Crew, it's just a fun
That
little
was
nod
such a
that maybe
cool-
not a lot of people would know about.
Such a cool little Easter egg.
I feel like the holiday special is the ultimate Star Wars thing around the holidays because it has Star
yes.
Wars and holiday
Mhm.
in the name. But I don't like it. It's not good.
Yeah.
I saw a TikTok of somebody defending it and being like, no, it's actually like really fun. And I was just like,
It's
I don't
kind of cheeks, bro.
know if I agree with that.
Honestly, you know what my favorite thing about the holiday special is?
What is it?
How Carrie Fisher would talk about it.
Yeah.
So good. So great.
I like
Her
the part when she
disdain for
sings
it.
at the end.
Yes. Well, that's what there's some, I don't even remember what show she was on, but she was on some talk show and was doing an interview and she brings up the holiday special and she was just making comments about like, well, George brought us all back and then I had to sing and then blah, blah, blah. And it's so funny. I love her so much. I miss her dearly.
I do too. I miss her tweets. Her tweets always crack me up.
Love her tweets. I have some of her old tweets like screenshotted and saved on my phone.
Thank you guys so much for listening. I do want to say really quick before we go, you can find us on Instagram at justcraitpod. Also, the same exact @ for Twitter. And really quick, I do want to say, and I feel like this is a perfect thing to say doing the outro. I had to pull up the screenshot on my phone. Whenever you publish a podcast onto Spotify, it gives you like a year in review, like a Wrapped for like creators as well. We were a top 10 show for 172 people. So thank you guys
Which is a lot
so
of
much
people.
for tuning in.
Hello?
That's so many people, Hannah, that could hear me talk about the Battle of Jakku. That's crazy.
Oh my God.
But we were also the #1 show for 31 people. So thank you guys so much.
go.
Especially those 31 people for always supporting us. And there were a lot of other cool things too. We were in the top 30% of videos on Spotify, which is really cool.
Oh.
And we reached over 13 countries, which I think is cool. But
That's
I
pretty
say all
cool.
that to say, and I feel like during Craitmas, we're just going to say this a lot, or at least I know for a fact that I am.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. As always,
Yes.
whether you're on YouTube, Spotify, we really appreciate the support. So thank you so much for listening. If you want to follow us, again, Just Crait Pod. This is how I know it's time to stop because I'm like stumbling with my words. But Just Crait Pod, you can follow us there. And until the next video, dap us up in the Force.
Yes.
And may the Force be with you.
I was about to say,
Bye, guys.
I have somebody else that should sign us off so that we don't have to.
Oh, okay. Go for it.
I'm Cal Kestis, and this is BD1. And catch us next week on Just Crait Pod.